All right. Now, I'm here today with Skully and Jimmy. We are going to do the first ever segment for the Twitch. Vehicles, trucks, cars, anything I work on, these guys work on. These guys like Hondas, push mowers, it's okay. But we'll bring them in, we'll show you guys what we got. We'll give you a little tour of what we've started on doing so far. Nothing big, no worries yet, that's coming later. Hold tight, hold on, buckle up, and relax. These guys have some bolt-ons they like to, show around. We'll bring in a vehicle later on tonight, or later on today. Still daytime, fucking night. And we'll get that in here, and we'll show you what the fuck we got to do to that. Pull a turbo. It's gonna be fun. Hang in there. But first off, we're gonna start with my personal big bitch. This big bitch. Thank you guys. This big bitch. Her name is Sheila. Now, if you guys are fans of Red vs. Blue, you might, I hope you guys will, understand. This is Sheila. She's a 1990 F-250 IDI diesel. If none of y'all know what IDI means, it is indirect injected. Now, newer vehicles are direct injected. We'll definitely go over some of that later on too, if you're not entirely sure what's going on with the vehicles. But in here, nothing big done, but here's the big beast of power block. 7.3 liter IDI non-turbo. Turbo is coming. I definitely want a turbo. The only things I've currently done to her, I know you can't see it, that's coming as well. Stay tuned. I have a 38-gallon rear fuel tank addition, a rebuilt transmission manual, 5-speed. The next step is to rebuild the rear end because the rear end has gone to shit on me. Thank you, old school trucks. But not too dangerous, not too big yet. She's a puller. She's pulled a big ass camper a couple hundred, miles before, and no struggle, no issues. So I ain't getting rid of her, but I will let you guys experience the pain and suffering I go through when I go to upgrade her. It's gonna be fun for all of us, I promise. Now, with this one, not a whole lot to it. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask. All of us, are here to answer your questions, show you a thing or two that we know. And I do have to put this disclaimer out there. None of us, and I mean none of us, are experts, professionals. We are mainly shade tree mechanics, pretty much. So we'll stick with the shade tree for now, and then we'll go from there. Yes, the bed, if you can tell, the bed is off. The big ass bed that I had on it, that is to make it better access to remove and repair the rear axle. That'll be another day, because that's a lot of work. Not yet, I'm getting there yet. I'm still kind of going over a few things, but thank you for helping me with my own stream.
Well, it's pretty cool getting into it. So.
Yep. But, alright, and thank you, Jimmy. So, most of the time in a vehicle, older vehicles, the batteries are under the hood, typically. I relocated them for better access for upgrades later on, like when I do the turbos, I'm going to run the intakes and the breathers over on each side to give it a better breathe. But I moved the batteries from up under the hood back here where the bed would be. There's a toolbox that they sit in, so they get out of the elements and shit. But they're back behind the cab now, and then that made it easier to run my battery cables to my two 12-inch subs with a 3,000 watt amp. Pretty beefy, pretty gnarly. But currently have that all removed to remove the batteries and everything. So that'll be a later item I bring up on. Other than that, I think I've covered pretty much everything on that. You guys, anything to add? Anything you guys? Oh, fuck. Transmission. Yeah, I rebuilt the transmission myself. That was a pain in the fucking ass. But I got these about 2 years ago. These were an upgrade from the stock rims and tires. They were kind of of junk and look shitty. Aluminum, stock wheels, 16 faulty tires. Pretty beefy tires. They get me through about anything. I forget, dude. This is why I have reminders. So, okay, so this truck, I bought it 4 years ago. It was an automatic transmission. It completely took a shit on me. I couldn't go anywhere. So I spent about 8 months hunting down parts and getting everything ready. I converted it from an automatic transmission to a manual transmission. That took a lot more time than I really thought it would take, but I did it. It's done. It works fucking wonderful. Now it does, after the complete tear down and rebuild of it. Painted it green. I don't have any pictures of it. I'll definitely show you that one day. We'll get down underneath it and I'll show you undercarriage. Nothing pretty, but you know, just the transmission's nice and green. And that lets you know where it's at. Eventually she'll get a lift kit. I'm thinking upwards between 4 and 6. I plan on running, military 37s, rims and tires. I think that'll look good on it, especially since I'm going to paint her OD green and matte black. Add a light bar. I've got a light bar to add. I've got clearance lights to add. I've got lights to go on the grill. Grill's going to get changed out. These fucking old shitty lights right here, they're bright. They're just not bright enough. They're all fogged up and everything. They have LED bulbs in them. Doesn't help. Better? Yeah. Was it the music too loud?
A little bit.
A little bit?
You can still hear you.
Me?
Well,
Deal. I like it. Thank you. I wanted to make sure it's good. Yep. Yeah, we're good. We're set. I think the next step is now I've shown you mine. They're going to show you theirs, and not in that way. So stay tuned. We're gonna switch things up a bit. So give us a bit. Here we go. Jimmy's up.
All right, guys. This is a 2010 Acura TL. It is a 3.5 automatic. It's really not anything too special yet, but as far as modifications go, I put a bigger sub in the back end, bigger amp. It's not really too special. It's got an intake on it, Takata ram air intake. I've got a bigger exhaust pipe. The J pipe is where both of the sides of the V6 collect. That's a bigger diameter. And there's some thermal gaskets in the intake system, but I mean, that's about it. There's really not too much that it's done to it performance-wise. But yeah, I mean, I got plans for it. Pretty soon I'll be changing the factory stereo into it. I'll be putting in a Android tablet head unit, and then when I get my tuning software for the car, hopefully I'll be able to just Bluetooth the tuning setup off of the head unit. So, you know, we'll have to get that all together to make sure it works first, but at least that's the idea. So, as far as like major performance upgrades, really don't have a whole lot planned for this one since it's my daily. I've got other projects that are more performance geared than this one, but there is a supercharger kit that's available for it, so that'll go on one day. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty factory. So a little dirty.
Jimmy boy. Thank you, sir.
I mean, I can give you a sound of what it is, but it sounds like a factory car, so.
You know, we all know that.
I mean, the exhaust doesn't sound any different, so.
It is kind of a Honda until you put a fart can on it.
Yeah, at least it's got the 3.5 in it, so it's got more displacement than a little burner, but.
It's because it needs to push that big ass around.
She is a heavy car. It's almost 4,000 pounds.
Almost.
So even though it's got almost 300 horsepower, I mean, it don't really move it that much. So if that engine were to be put in a lighter chassis, then yeah, it'd be something
Your
else.
fucking hatchback.
Yeah, if I could put that, if I just straight up swap that into my Integra, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But
That fucking hook and book.
it wouldn't hook, but it would try to book. So, yeah, like Tony said, or like Diesel Man said, we work on Hondas a lot. I've got several projects. He's got a couple as well. Fix things for friends. We've built some cars up. I mean, nothing really too special, but like you said, we're shade tree mechanics and we do what we can. And if we don't, then we figure out somebody who can tell us how to do it, then we do it. So
We'll classify ourselves as mainly YouTube mechanics, because that's pretty much how most of us learn some of this shit.
I do want to get one of those certified YouTube mechanics stickers.
None of those are certified by
Yeah.
any means.
Yeah.
And none of the work we do is for monetary value.
Nope.
This is just us working on cars under
Yeah,
our own
figure we know
discretion.
a little bit about cars. Maybe we could teach what we know. And
Yeah, that the purpose behind this is to show you guys what we know, what we've done to our personal vehicles, what we've done to other vehicles.
and what you guys could do for not that bad.
Yeah, and
A lot of people get scared when they look at all this stuff because they don't understand it. That's fine, but a lot of it is just really simple, basic stuff. I mean, you don't got to know a whole lot about it, so it's a daunting task to look at it at the beginning for sure. But,
Yeah, oh yeah.
And a lot of it is really not that bad.
especially on the newer cars, like there's more electronics involved in it and everything. So it takes us, them mainly, more to figure out what the fuck's wrong with their cars,
Yeah.
or whatever vehicle they decide to work on that day.
Yeah.
So it's by no means easy for any of us. I mean, we may make it look easy.
Oh, I get my butt kicked on cars all the time.
Yeah.
I'm working on several projects right now. I'm putting a cam in a 454. I'm retiming 93 Accord. That's been kicking my butt. Dealing with a crank nose start on a Jimmy right now. And a transmission rebuild in a Civic. So, I mean, doesn't matter how much you know, you still come across stuff every day that you've never seen before.
Yeah, this is something that we do as a hobby, and even then, you know, it takes us time to get to know what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
I probably am covering the same thing over and over again. I feel like, if I am, I apologize. We're all learning at this too, so bear with us on that.
Yeah, and we're all new at this one too.
Yeah,
So.
so
Witnessing the first of many.
this is a big deal for all of us involved. We hope to include everybody that supports us in everything we do. So stay tuned for more of this. Oh,
Can you pick that up? That's like the only cool thing about my car.
hold on. Kill that light real quick.
Like this camera.
There you go. Yeah, you can barely see it.
Like this
Yep.
camera.
Yep.
That was like
Hold on.
it was like a $15 kit on Amazon.
Yep, there it is. Right there.
Little thing
Found
on
it.
Right there.
The only thing that you do is just there's a light in there already. You just replace the lens cover on it, and it gives you a nice accurate emblem. So
You can do that on almost any car.
yeah, I mean it's one screw and a plug. That's
Yep.
all you do to it, and it's nice little quick customization. You know, not every TL has it. So
Right.
nothing too major, but it's about the little things.
Little things, man. That's what counts.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. One more car. All right, now we're gonna get back in here. Skully. Take it away, Senor Skully.
Hola, people. I'm Skully, and this is my 2002 Acura RSX Type S. I've pretty much just got basic bolt-ons, catback, skunk tube, mega power exhaust, a K&N short ram intake, and I have a K-Pro ECU that allows me to tune and adjust some of the engine parameters for more performance. Other than that, it's pretty much stock. Did a new clutch in it not too long ago, and it has energy suspension bushings on the front end. But other than that, it's pretty much a factory setup. I've got 25 millimeter spacer on my wheels to give them a little bit of offset compared to factory. But other than that, it's a 2002, but I have the 2005 to 2006 front end conversion done. Pretty much just changed the shape of the headlights and the way that the bumper runs. But other than that, it's completely factory and stock. Yeah.
Shove it back in.
Yeah.
Shove it back in.
Yeah, I mean, we could move it around. It's small enough. But, yeah, this is my daily car. I daily this every day, at least 15 miles between all my destinations, and it's been the most reliable car I've had in years. It's real fun to drive. I mean, it's nothing special by any means, but it's enough to enjoy yourself and have some fun. So, yeah, that's me and my car. And
Plans on upgrades?
in the future, we'll plan on doing some more power modifications, maybe some cams, maybe a header and stuff like that. But as for now, it's just routine maintenance, stuff like brakes, valve adjustments, spark plugs, just kind of the routine things you want to do to keep the car in good working condition. It's an 18-year-old car and it has 151,000 miles on it, so she's still kicking and
Still looks good for her age too.
yeah. Yeah, and it's not new by any means, but it's got a real timeless look to it.
What'd you say your mileage was?
151,000.
Yeah, I forgot to say that about mine. Mine's a 2010 and it's got 160.
Yeah, and it's just it's a 2.0 liter K20A2, which is what comes factory on the Type S RSXs. So other than that, she's pretty stock. I've got a touchscreen AVIC Pioneer head unit in it with navigation. I've got just a 12-inch sub with a small amplifier just for a little bit more noise. But these cars come factory with Bose premium audio, so it's got
So
a
it
really
sounded
good.
good.
It's got a really
Alright,
good
alright.
factory sound
Just
system.
needs a little help on the road.
Well, yeah. Most systems after 18
Yeah.
fucking years, they're gonna need some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But for its age, I mean, it sounds good and runs just as well. So
Yeah. Deal.
I don't have any complaints.
the Honda boys.
This is it. It's Acura, boys.
Yeah, it's still made by fucking
We
Honda.
drive Acuras.
It's still fucking Honda.
We have
This is
Hondas
luxury.
with
This
class.
is luxury. This
Oh, okay. So this is the Toyota's
This is-
version. This is like the Lexus of
is
Toyota.
luxury Honda.
For the high end.
Targeted specifically for the American audience.
We both have Integras as well. His is a 96, mine's a 98.
98.
His is a 98, mine's a 96.
Yeah,
So-
mine's a bone stock LS with an exhaust on it, and his is a 96 GSR. Currently in the middle of getting a full
There's not a whole lot left in the car right now, to be honest. I'll probably make a video just about it at some point. But
Yeah, those are heavy projects.
Yeah.
That we'll make full-length videos on what's going on there. So those will be
down the
future
road.
endeavors. These are just kind of what you'll probably see the most of because they're our dailies and they're what we do the most routine maintenance.
We do have a lot of routine maintenance stuff to do, so I mean that's real quick, easy stuff that we can show. Somebody that may not know how to do it.
We can give you almost now all cars are different. Now just being in mind, your car is definitely doesn't look like this. We can help you on that one as well. So, but what we're doing is kind of the basics to what you might need to do just on different setups or different steps.
I mean, let's say for example you don't know how to do your oil change, and you take it to a shop that charges $30-40.
You could do it
You save yourself all that money. It's something that's not that hard.
It's a pretty
you
cut
know.
and dry process between all
There's
makes and
a
models.
few things that you can do to save yourself some money by not taking it to a shop. And
Yes.
that helps everybody
And
out.
that's why we do it, because we know what it costs to take it to a shop, and that's way more money than any of us fucking
Yeah.
ever get. So we are learning to do it ourselves so we can save ourselves more money down the road. So the thing, we like to do it for the most part, even when it kicks our ass.
It's about the challenges. I mean, it's like a big old puzzle
It's
every
definitely
time.
frustrating, but it's funny because it brings you more peace even when you're pissed off just because you're in like your own world instead of dealing with normal day shit.
Yeah, indeed.
Can you turn it on?
Unlike the other guys, I can actually turn mine on.
I was gonna say, this actually sounds cool.
Fuck you. All right, yeah, we'll do a promo of what his rice burner sounds like. So yeah, ta-da, ta-da. Now if you want your car to sound like that, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to your local Home Depot. You're going to find the mower section and it's going to say Honda on it. You're set. Just go with that.
Just grab some nice fence posts.
Yeah.
And a flux core welder.
Yeah, there you go.
And you'll be out.
And you'll need to spend about $1,000 to $1,200 on a programmable ECU. That's about all you're gonna need.
Yeah, there you go. And then you're set.
Maximize your gain.
It's the lightest fucking chassis ever. It's got a beefy little one-cylinder on it.
Yeah, this is only 2,600 pounds curb weight without me in it. With me in it, it's probably 28, 29. So it's definitely the lightest of the bunch.
Yeah, like what? 250 in it probably? 240, 250?
230. Yeah.
Okay, 220, 230.
Horsepower.
Yeah.
Horsepower is probably 2 to 215, relatively. The factory they come with 200, but you know it's got 151,000 miles on it, and it's been modified.
Right.
So it definitely doesn't have its factory horsepower anymore.
Right.
But with the ECU and the street tune, with the basic mods that I have on it, it's
Probably
up to the low two numbers. Nothing too crazy.
We haven't gotten a really, really good race between me and him, but the ones that we've had, they're very close.
Yeah.
And I've got maybe 50, 60 horsepower on them, but I've also got 1,400 pounds.
You got a lot more weight.
And that really makes a difference.
And our gearing ratios are totally different.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
in
that's another thing too.
6-speed close ratio manual transmission where he's
Yeah.
in a 6-speed, 5-speed,
5-speed
automatic transmission with paddle shifters, and that gives his shift times a lot more speed than what I got to do on a manual transmission.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for me to swing gears.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop me. I still keep up.
No,
Don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong.
We all kind of questioned in our group of friends, you know, who would be the faster, and I think we all were surprised with the answer that we're pretty dead even.
Yeah, and all of our matches have been from 30 to 40 roll. We haven't done a dig race yet.
Yeah.
And I think with both of our cars, we'll face traction issues. But
Definitely.
as far as power-wise, if we can get clean launches, it's a real close race.
Because you have the two-wheel drive, not the all-wheel drive, correct?
Yes, I have front wheel drive.
So
at least we both have that.
yeah, because if you had all-wheel drive, man, I could.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Fucking-
one of the main differences that kind of helps balance each other out as far as matchmaking is his engine is a V6 and it has a lower RPM range that creates more torque at a lower end of the power band.
Yeah.
So he gets a lot more oomph off the low end torques, whereas my car, it's a close ratio 6-speed and revs out to 8,500 RPM. So I'm not making even peak horsepower until 5,000 to 8,000 RPMs. And so it takes my car a lot more time to spin up and get up to speed than it does for him to just
But
kind of
on the inverse, when he's wrapped out, he takes off and I fall on my face.
Yeah, because
So
for
I don't
me,
have top end
at
power.
those RPMs, I'm making my peak power, but I'm also able to take a 1,500 more RPMs out of my transmission than he is. So
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I think I shifted 65.
yeah, they both
So
have their
He's
points
got
that
another
are,
15 on me.
Yeah,
and they both have their areas where they have strengths, but they equally kind of cancel each other out as far as advantages.
Now what's your goal horsepower that you're looking to get out of it after?
Being is it's my daily driver and it's what I need to rely on, I would be comfortable with like a manageable like 350, which to get out of these motors without a turbo is a lot of work.
Right, injectors, computer,
so
intake.
if I put a turbo on it, it would be easy, but I would rather strengthen up the motor before adding forced induction.
We've got another one that our friend has, and he's put a 68 millimeter turbo on
Same
it.
car, same setup.
And it is built for 600, but he runs it at about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I mean, that car freaking moves.
And that's on a stock engine and transmission.
Yeah.
That's just adding turbo to the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't the fastest car in the world, but
Yeah.
she moves.
My
She
98
ain't slow.
Integra is, I'm planning on putting a K series from a 8th gen Civic, 2009, 2008. It's the same motor, it's just a different iteration, but it'll have all the same specs as far as, you know, VTEC engagement and all of that. It's a 2-liter as well, so that will be the car that I like strip down and build specifically for like track days. I want to do like SCCA or autocross and stuff like that. So
One
I'm not
thing-
making any drag cars, but I'm just
Yeah.
making track cars.
We both have non-LSD transmissions, which means
Yes.
that we can one-wheel wonder spin our cars.
Yeah, and these cars are
Um,
notorious for torque steers. So
the
when you're in the
Civic-
power band up top,
Yeah.
it'll just dance on you.
The Civic transmission, the ones that are in the same years relative to these are LSD. So, that's
But
one.
I'll be putting a 6-speed from one of these onto it,
Oh,
so
right.
I won't have LSD unless I install it into that.
Now,
transmission.
if you're unaware of what LSD stands for, it's limited slip differential.
Yep.
Now, that's only what they were talking about is
Yeah.
you may have both wheels connected to the differential, but only one wheel is allowed to spill if there's too much pressure on the other wheel. Now, there is posi-track rear ends, which is positive traction. The truck that you guys saw is positive traction, so both wheels will spin at the same time, even in a slip. Now, in an all-wheel drive situation, I think most of those are positive traction differentials.
All-wheel drives are usually LSD.
LSDs, limited slip. So if they get a slip, one or
Yeah, because they want all 4 tires to be getting even amounts of.
right traction. Okay, fair enough. See, I'm learning shit too that I don't even fucking know. Oh yeah, one of the upgrades I forgot to mention this. One of the upgrades for my truck. It is only 2-wheel drive. So like there's this front wheel drive. Mine's only rear. My goal eventually is to swap this front axle from independent wishbone suspension, which means it pivots in the middle and it crosses over more. But my goal is to put a solid front axle swap on that, so that way I have all 4 wheels to be able to rely on instead of just the back 2. So that'll be a thing. Now, what I don't think I asked this. What power are you looking for out of yours? What's your goal power?
Mine comes with 260 from the crank. I'd be happy with 300 of the wheels for now. That supercharger is rated to put it up to 400.
And you would still daily it?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't put any more to that just because it doesn't need it. That one's not going to be the race car. That's supposed to be the more reliable one. But more horsepower is always
One
fun.
of the good things about like these K series and the J series engines is they come with good. They're not forged internals, but they're cast, and the
Yeah.
stock Honda engines can handle
They're
up
pretty
to a fair amount of boost, like 10 to 15 pounds. They can handle it all day.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about making 300 horsepower, you got to keep in mind that's only like 8 pounds of boost onto
Yeah,
the
that's
system.
pretty
a
moderate. I mean,
very low conservative number for turboing or supercharging any
Yeah.
kind of a Honda engine.
You can put a turbo on there and run 8 pounds off the factory system and get a nice increase. But then you can go through and build the engine purpose built for a turbo and put a turbo on there, and you can
Max the fuck out
double
of
or
it.
triple your
Possibilities are
horsepower. I mean,
endless, yeah.
you can really put some power in this.
I've seen these engines with the proper modifications putting out 12 to 1500 horsepower on a 2-liter
Yeah.
Honda engine with a turbo on it. I mean, those are just ridiculous
That's-
numbers.
Yeah, it's a pretty purpose-built rig, but you can do it. I mean, there's everybody wants to talk smack on Hondas, but I mean, they're light.
I'm going to.
They're
I'll
light.
admit-
I do it too. I'll admit that. I'm pretty bad at knocking
I
Hondas
used to
because I've
hate
worked on so
He's,
many.
he's,
of them.
he's a shit talker through and through.
Yeah.
I hated them. I used to be a Mitsubishi fan, and I
Yeah.
used to be
Mitsubishi?
a hardcore Mitsubishi fan, and I always talk shit on Hondas. Then I ended up buying my 98 Integra as kind of a grudge against an old friend, not a friend anymore. And lo and behold, I fell in love, and it's been one of my favorite chassis I've ever driven.
Talking about the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got mine off of our other partner because I fell in love with it after he had gotten several of those. And it was just a thing where that was all our buddies had was Hondas, and so we started working on cars, helping buddies out, and it was like, well, hey, I want one too. And you get one, you fall in love with it, and it's like, all right, well, this is what we're doing now.
Even after all the blood, sweat, tears, and fucking every word you can think of, you still fucking
And
love
anybody that considers himself a car guy, I mean, you're a driver at heart, and to be a driver and love driving experiences, Integras and RSXs and Civics, those are going to give you the most bang for your buck as far as a car that you can get in and beat the shit out of and really enjoy yourself and
they feel
be
like
able to get in it
go-karts.
every day.
I mean, they really do.
I mean, I've beat the piss out of both of my Integras, and they've never left me hanging in any situation. The only time that I've ever not been able to drive it is when I personally did some kind of a job to it that put it down. But other than that, I've never been stranded.
Yeah, I can't say the same. I've kind of broken mine a couple times, but it's all my fault. I'm pushing it way too hard, and you break something, and then you break that one thing, and it causes a tear somewhere else, and you know. But I mean, that's all part of the game. You beat the crap out of something. You know something's gonna fail. It's just a risk you do. A good life lesson is not to do that to your daily. That's something that I've learned. Don't beat the crap out of your daily.
It's gonna happen.
Then
modifications
your
are
daily's
fine,
gonna break
but
down, and you don't have a vehicle.
When you start tearing apart factory systems to replace it with aftermarket ones to increase performance ratings, you're gonna lose a lot of your luxuries like air conditioning.
Yeah, for example, in his car.
Power steering. There's a lot of things that you can lose that a lot of people don't think about until they start modifying their cars, and then once they lose it, they're like, oh fuck, I miss having that. But it's like, well, do you want to go fast or do you want to be comfortable? So you got to find whatever you want as a car, and understand that if it's your daily driver, that's just something you're gonna have to deal with.
It's a risk you're gonna have to deal with. And it is. I mean, it can be an expensive hobby. You know, there's definitely parts that you can go out there and get the cheaper versions of and be all right. There's other parts where you do not want to do that at all. You want to spend your money on the good stuff.
There is a reason they're called eBay fucking parts for a reason.
I mean, I've seen eBay built cars that run Hondas that run 9 seconds. Is it possible? Yes. Reliable?
No.
It's all about longevity. The parts work the way that they're supposed to, but it's a matter
I don't make enough money to be constantly rebuilding stuff.
It's a matter of durability. So you can go cheap, but you're going to end up replacing it sooner than you would if you spend the money on something else. So,
There's that. Yeah, so far so good. We're making progress.
That's us in our normal cars. Like I said, he's got another truck, I've got another car, he's got another car, so there'll be other projects.
My truck won't be coming in.
5.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Captain? I
have 5 in one run, okay?
Some of us have cars we can drive here, others we have cars that we have to trailer here, so there'll be other times you'll see some other cars. Especially from us, it'll be more Hondas. And 4-cylinders, and then with him we'll be doing more diesel work.
Well, it's diesel trucks. And whatever I can get my hands on. Yeah, pretty much, because I've got another vehicle that needs some brake work, and that's an '84 Mercedes-benz 480 SL 450. I can't remember that. It's big old V8 and this little fucking go-kart car. And that needs some brake work. That's going to be fun because that's troubleshooting that as well. But no, the next step is to bring in the big... It's a big black truck. So we're going to bring that in. We're going to remove the turbo, do some intake work, and see if we can get the intake resealed back up. Because that was either a over torque issue or just a shitty part. No idea yet, but let's find out.
I'm getting top from your mom on an island and she throw it back like she played for the Giants. Hey, I catch 'em all just like Pokemon. I'm with your girl making films on my Nikon. Dropped a few songs and blew up like a rocket.